Ganesh, the remover of obstacles, created, directed, and presented by Rev Dr Joe Mullen. In this video, Dr. Mullen explores the mythology around Ganesh, a Hindu god that is perceived as one that can remove all sorts of obstacles in our lives.
This is astrologer and parapsychologist Joe Mullen coming to you from Orlando, Florida, with a way to remove the obstacles. Obstacles come in a lot of different forms. They might be people. Often they're our own fears. It might be economic and social situations that we just feel overwhelmed by. But regardless of what your spiritual beliefs are, if you call on Ganesh or Ganesh, Ganapate, he's known by a number of different names, the Hindu elephant-headed god, they melt away. Give it a try and see. Ganesh is very, very strong and always benevolent. One of the many interesting stories about Ganesh involves the milk miracle. And I'm going to play the Tibetan bowl. The sound represents a sacred kind of a beginning. This is an antique bowl. It's about 400 years old. And it is to invoke the spirit of Ganesh with us today. One of the interesting stories all begin with a dream in the pre-dawn hours of September 21st, 1995 in New Delhi, India. A devout but otherwise ordinary man dreamt of Ganesh, and the beloved elephant-headed god thirsted for a drink of milk. The man rushed to a nearby temple. The priest was skeptical, but he permitted the man to offer a spoonful of milk to a small statue of the idol Ganesh. Both watched in amazement as immediately the milk vanished, seemingly consumed by Ganesh. Well, now, what followed in the next 24 hours is absolutely astonishing, and it's been unprecedented before or since in the long history of Hinduism. The word spread of a breakneck speed locally from temple to temple. Then the news media seized the story that Lord Ganesh was present and he was drinking milk. Television stations, including CNN and BBC, and the Internet picked up the news. The Washington Post, the Daily Express, the Guardian, and even the New York Times were among the newspapers that sent journalists right away to New Delhi to investigate. They all reported that this incredible event was real. Seemingly, there was proof that there really is a divine force of some kind active in the universe, and that's comforting to think of when we reflect on how life is going and the special challenges here in the second decade of the 21st century. With reverence, millions of awestruck devotees all around the globe, in virtually every yoga center and Hindu household and temple, began to offer spoons of milk to their statues. Ganesh must have been very thirsty because he sipped it all up, drop by drop, then and there. Witnesses from India to South America, to Trinidad, to Africa, and the United States stated that they watched Ganesh drink milk. A yoga ashram that I was associated with in Palm Bay, Florida at the time, reported that their very large statue of Ganesh also was thirsty and drank some milk. Thousands of gallons of milk were consumed, and scientists who try to debunk every miracle by insisting strange things like it was surface tension, capillary action, or even hypnotic suggestion created by mass hysteria, finally admitted that none of them could explain whatever a rational explanation is, why the milk miracle happened, why it never happened before or since. Then it stopped abruptly, just 24 hours after Ganesh's first drink of milk. I guess he'd had enough after the dream. And one especially touching story of September 21st, 1995, involves a bride and groom. They offered Ganesh a drink of milk to bless their wedding. Other believers felt it meant that a great soul a saint may have been born that day. So if you know anyone who was born September 21st of 1995, check to see if maybe there is a saint, a holy one in your midst. Ganesh, again known as Ganesha, Ganapati, is one of Hindus' 5 principal deities. The others are Vishnu, Brahma, Durga, and Shiva. And with his benevolent expression, rounded belly, and elephantine face, with a curved trunk that suggests the Om symbol, the sight of Ganesh usually brings a smile to our lips. His huge fan-like ears are thought to hear all the pleas for help and assistance that come to him. Ganesh holds a noose in his left hand in many pictures of him to snag and capture all the difficulties haunting you. His upper right hand often holds a goad to gently prop humanity forward. Another hand holds a broken tusk. This has become a pen, something kind of amusing. In a store, someone went in to buy a statue of Ganesh, and a new clerk there thought it was broken because the tusk was off and gave a nice discount. So that was good. Ganesh removed an obstacle there. He's the special patron of writers. Books printed in India will often have his image printed on the title page, and the Witch's Almanac, which I can contribute to, most years has a little portrayal of Ganesh somewhere in the book, so that he blesses the publication. A snake around his waist represents the divine Kundalini energy within, and Ganesh rides around on a mouse. This suggests that his influence is pervasive everywhere, just as mice turn up everywhere. Lord Ganesh represents success in all endeavors. He is prudent, a destroyer of obstacles and evil. He also brings wealth and wisdom. One of several legends behind Ganesha's appearance is that he was created by the goddess Parvati from the dirt to guard her bathhouse. When Shiva, her husband, returned, he was so angry at being sent away by the boy who was created from the dirt that he struck off his head. And to calm the grief-stricken wife Parvati, Shiva sent out his guards to find a replacement head from a sleeping being facing north, a sacred direction. They found a sleeping baby elephant and returned with its head, thus restoring life to the sun, and so Ganesh was born. Shiva also gave Ganesh the gift of being worshipped and beloved by everybody. Ganesh's name means Lord of the Hosts. It's jovial and benevolent, and it's believed that Ganesh's mantra will help in invoking his aid. Now, you can just call out his name and ask for help, and that often works just great. But if you can learn the simple mantra in Sanskrit and maybe burn a candle or incense in his honor, small silver spoons are often placed on Ganesh's altar as well to commemorate the miracle of the milk. Request that blockages leave your path, and chant Om Gum Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gum Ganapataye Namaha. And see what happens. This is Dickie Jo Mullen coming to you from Orlando, Florida, with a way to remove all of the obstacles before you. And I have Facebook presentations and also a web page with new articles published almost every few days.